So as I've discussed before, the Agile Manifesto lays out what Agile means, and in particular, what it's a contrast to. There's these 4 trade-offs. Agile software development focuses on individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Not that processes and tools aren't important, but individuals and interactions are more important. Comprehensive documentation, that's important, but having working software that shows our current thinking is even more important so that we can get feedback on what it is that we're building. Customer collaboration is more important than contract negotiation. So contracts are important, but working with our customers to produce win-win solutions, collaborating with them is more important. And then it's important to have a plan and to try and follow it, but when we find that actually we need to change the plan, it's more important to respond to change than it is to make sure that we're following a plan that may no longer represent the best way to solve the problem at hand. I'm going to give you a rundown of the 3 frameworks we're going to discuss in this unit. First is XP, or Extreme Programming. Second is Scrum. And third is Kanban. And like I say, there's many more frameworks, but these are the most popular ones. And so these are the ones we're going to talk about. Each of them has values, principles, practices, key roles. They have cadences and things they measure, amongst other things. But they almost all have these things, and it's interesting to look at the differences between these frameworks when it comes to these different perspectives. So XP's values are communication, simplicity, feedback, courage, and respect. Scrum's values are commitment, courage, focus, openness, and respect. Kanban does not have any explicitly stated values, but Kanban does come from lean and lean thinking, where there's a focus on respect for people. And very interesting to talk about lean philosophy. We'll cover that in the next unit. XP has 14 principles. You can go and check those out. I'm not going to list them all here. Scrum talks about empirical process control, which means observing your process and evolving it in a scientific way. Talks about transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So look at how you're doing and then adapt based on what you learn. Kanban, the key principles are firstly, starting where you are. Actually deliver work and then work out how to improve incrementally based on where you are right now and where you want to go. Incremental evolutionary change, as I say, rather than trying to change everything all at once, work out how to improve and change your process in a scientific incremental way. Respect existing roles, responsibilities, and job titles. So again, rather than changing everything, start with where we are and then find ways to leverage those roles to drive improvement through the team. Practices. XP has 13 practices. Again, you can go and look at those. I'm not going to go through them all here. Scrum, we'll talk about the artifacts and the events in the next module. Kanban, there's a focus on visualizing work as it moves through the value stream, limiting work in process, managing flow, making the management policies explicit, and then working together to improve. And we'll talk about some of those things later on in this unit. XP talks about having a whole team, including the customer, working together on a daily basis. Scrum talks about 3 key roles: the product owner, the Scrum Master, which is like the delivery manager, and then the development team. And then Kanban says you use your existing roles. In XP, we have iterations that are 1 to 2 weeks long. Scrum has 2 to 4 week iterations, and Kanban does not have iterations at all. You just pull new work when capacity becomes available. However, you can use Kanban within the context of a broader planning framework, and we'll be discussing that in this unit. Finally, what do you measure? In XP, we talk about velocity and burn down in Scrum, and we'll talk about that again later on in this unit. In Kanban, a key metric is lead time. How long does it take us to get work done? And again, we'll talk about that in this unit and in the next unit as well. So that's a brief overview of the 3 most popular frameworks. There's some supplemental reading to do on them. We will talk about Scrum in particular more in this unit. But But please go and check out the supplemental reading, particularly the foundational guides that I've put in the reading, to find out more about these popular frameworks that have emerged as part of the Agile software development movement.